For the people, just curious that are saying, okay, well, what does Tim do on the day to day? What would you say is kind of your role? Of course, CEO, but what does your day to day look like? What does your week look like? Are you focused on building up the team? Are you focused on moving towards studies? Like, what takes up Tim's time?
Well, anyone that's watching that's worked in startup knows that it's a small team, and you have to be nimble and willing to do almost anything. I mean, I can sometimes, I'm doing fairly mundane tasks, and other times I'm doing, fairly sophisticated things, whether it's a board meeting or talking to an investor. But our focus right now is on executing against our business plan. And one of the things that we've been mindful of is what are the lessons that because there's several of us on the team that have cannabis in our background. So what are the lessons we've learned from that industry that we can bring to this industry and avoid some of the mistakes? And I'll give you the biggest example. I think that in cannabis, a lot of the companies were too slow in bringing business operators in. They had stock promoters and they had growers, but they didn't have people that had actually taken things through to commercialization and had, quarterly earnings and all the rest of it. And so they lost their way and had bad cash flow plans and bad balance sheets and all kinds of other things that happened because they didn't have business operators. We've built a team where we balanced our science side with business operators. So I've got over 30 years of experience in packaged goods. We have other members of our team, our executive chairman, Vic Neufeld, who came from Afria, but previously was at Jameson Labs, chief science officer, Gary Leung, who's also from Jameson Labs. We have policy people, our EVP of Research and Development, Susan Chappelle, is a policy person, was formerly an elected official. So we've been building out the team, not only our management team, but also our board and our advisory board as well. We've done that, and now we're in execution. The plan has both a science side, which is operated under a division called Havn Labs, and a retail side, which is operated under Havn Retail. And the labs people are doing foundation work on psilocybin under a Section 56 exemption from Health Canada. So we're right now up to our elbows in the building out of our lab so that we'll be able to grow mushrooms, extract compounds, refine compounds, and do formulation work to support researchers. We've got a lot of work to be done, some foundation work around documenting a process for the cultivation of mushrooms, because if you're going to be a supplier to the pharmaceutical industry, everything has to be GMP. So we're working on that. And then on the retail side, we have a number of new items that are available for us to launch early in 2021. We're working on commercialization of those. So these are products that under Health Canada or the FDA, they're treated the same as melatonin or chondroitin and natural health products or nutritional supplements, but they still have an impact on cognitive health. Some of them are serotonin stimulants, and some of them have other immunity or clarity of thinking or whatever. So, our strategy and our mission is around human performance with a focus on cognitive health. And so that allows us to support a number of different processes in the body. So good sleep helps cognitive health. Good digestion helps cognitive health, as well as good brain health. Our first 7 SKUs are ready to go. We're in the midst of our early sales presentations, and we'll be launching in the first part of 2021. So I'm pretty busy on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you said it yourself. In a startup, you wear a ton of different hats. You're basically everybody, and everybody's everybody as well, which is great. But you've been building up the team. You guys are launching some products. Launching the lab, all sorts of stuff. So, you're getting pulled in every direction, which is as expected. But also, it seems like you're the guy for the job. So awesome to hear. Letting people know. I know you already touched on some company related stuff. We will do one or multiple company dives, videos themselves going forward. For anyone watching this, if you've got questions you want me to ask Tim, make sure you drop them below. Tim, that's what I ask. Is there anything else about your background that you think you missed out, that hey, someone might be either that's interesting or that was great to know, that you want to throw in?
I guess what I would say is, I've had an interesting last couple of years, mostly about getting my mind in the right place. I'm very sensitive to my mental health. I think mental health is, because that's what industry we're in. We're in an industry where we're going to help people improve their mental health. I think the last decade we've seen a real change in that. Things like the Bell Canada Let's Talk campaign, celebrities that have talked about it. It's now okay to not be okay. It's okay to be getting treatment. We have 11% of the population that has some sort of mental health issue. I think that the dark side of COVID is we're going to see an echo pandemic of mental health issues. So I see that's only going to increase. On another episode, I know you want to talk about what happened in Oregon and Washington, D.C. and what that means for the industry, but I think it's a harbinger of where public policy is headed. And I think that we're going to see increasing mental health issues being talked about and being dealt with. The consequences of people losing their job, losing their business, losing a loved one, not being able to hold a funeral, not being able to visit them in the hospital, being locked in their home for months at a time, of not going to high school, of not hanging out with your friends, of working in the healthcare industry and being surrounded with a pandemic that overwhelmed your system, being a worker in a long-term care facility and watching a number of your residents pass in a very short period of time. All of that is a generational impact that we've got. We haven't had a consequence of this size since the Second World War, in my opinion, where so many people have been so affected by an event. And I fully expect we're going to see public sentiment around mental health and policy around mental health continue to evolve and take a front seat. So I just want to get that out there because it's one of the reasons I'm proud to be in this industry, because as an industry, we can provide hope to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think that's a perfect way to end it. A great statement there. And of course, anyone with any questions, for Tim, it doesn't even need to be business related. It can just be about his life, about other things you're seeing in the markets, about other companies. Even if we think it fits, we'll definitely mention it. Worst case, you'll get a kind of response just as a comment. But Tim, thanks so much. Looking forward to doing a ton more of these.
Okay, Jason, thanks very much. Have a great day, and thanks to all your viewers for tuning in.